The Des Moines Real Estate Show is around town. Today we're in Windsor Heights. Let's go grab a cup. It's a grounds for celebration. All right, we're inside Grounds for Celebrations. We're here with Jan and George Davis. And George, what is Celebrations all about?
Well, Grounds for Celebration is really all about quality, fresh coffee. And we roast at our Beaverdale store, and all of our coffee is the highest quality of coffee that's available in the world.
We do. We have 3 stores actually, and we have different kind of crossover with customers, but a lot of our regulars are our bread and butter, and those are the people that we appreciate and we see every day. And it's you learn all about their little drinks and their families and all their stories, and it's kind of interesting. That's what keeps us going.
You really are a neighborhood coffee shop. Why is that important to you?
Yeah. Well, when we started, we were waiting for somebody else to open a coffee shop. I was in construction at the time, and we waited, and nobody did, so we said, okay, it's time for us to do it.
All right, let's go in depth here. And Jan, tell us, how did all this get started, Grounds for Celebration?
Well, it's been 29 years ago that we first started manufacturing self-contained espresso carts. We replaced them in department stores, etc. And then from there, we moved on to a small location and then built from there. But basically, George's mom is from Panama, and we tasted coffee that she brought back from there, and it was completely different than anything we had before. And so that just kind of sparked our interest, and we were both coffee nuts anyway. And nobody had really opened a coffee shop in Des Moines yet. And so we started the ball kind of rolling and thinking about it and how we'd put it together. So we lived in Beaverdale at the time and still do. And so our first store kind of evolved just out of an accident, and somebody cleared a space, and so we decided that we were just going to go for it and opened up our own coffee shop and did a lot of research and just kind of dove in and did a lot of the construction ourselves because George was in that. And I don't know, we just kind of developed a product that we thought people would like in the neighborhood, and that somebody would like to come in and get and sit and have coffee or on the run, and introduce them to what a cappuccino really was, because back in the old days nobody really knew.
The one from 7-Eleven doesn't count, right?
But that's not the one. But yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, exactly. So basically, in a nutshell, that's how we ended up just kind of jumping in and with something different that we knew that tasted different than anything that was out there. So that's how we got rolling.
And you guys were really ahead of your time for the Des Moines area by opening a shop. So George, you were in the construction. You dove in, started putting things together, and small business. It wasn't overnight, I imagine. It took some time.
No, it wasn't overnight. In the beginning, Jan had another job too, so we would come in early and open the stores, and after we got off of work, we would come in and close the stores, and we'd have staff during the day. But it was probably a good 5 years before we got people to understand what it is that we're doing.
Now you talked about the family connection, and you and I have talked. We play basketball together. It's an older guys league, but you really have a passion for the right bean, for the right and good coffee.
Excellent, yeah. That is the key. Like Jan said, my mother is from Panama, and I had visited Panama and visited some of my cousins up in the mountains where it's grown. And one of their farms is about 6,000 square feet, or 6,000 feet above sea level. And I said, I'd really like to get my fingers in the dirt and figure out how this stuff is grown. And they said, we got the perfect place. And they grew sugarcane and raised cattle, and there was an area on their land that they couldn't use because it was so steep. Perfect for coffee. So we planted 10,000 coffee trees down there and had a lot of fun learning how to grow coffee. And we import from all over the world. We have brokers and importers that we buy from and bring the green beans into the Beaverdale store, and we roast them all there.
Well, and that's an important part of all this. You really understand literally how to grow the bean and grow it into the coffee that you serve here.
from the ground to the cup.
That's right.
Yeah.
Soup to nuts, but in a different way.
A little different.
So, Jan, what's the passion that keeps you coming in and keeps you guys going after nearly 30 years?
I don't know. I first of all, coffee is my passion, and the main thing is our employees and having to deal with their issues of life and things and how they can fit in with our program and how we can help them. That's been a big part of what Grounds for Celebration has been, and we've had employees that have been with us for almost 20 years. So. That's kind of the really rewarding part of it. And another big thing is our regular customers and how we've kind of created some neighborhood stores that people can meet each other, and we've had people that have met in line and got married, and we've seen people that have got married and have kids, and then we see now their kids are bringing their kids in. So that's a huge part of it. It's just dealing with the regulars and chatting with them and learning their stories, and just huge amounts of people that we would have never met otherwise.
Truly a neighborhood coffee shop. I have one quick question. So I mentioned George and I play a little basketball together. Does he sometimes drink maybe a double shot of espresso before he shows up? Is that true?
Always. I think it's a triple shot.
Triple shot of espresso. That explains a lot. All right.
Hey, that's how I get the 3 to drop.
And with that, 3 stores in town. You've got Windsor Heights, you've got Beaverdale, and the Iowa Clinic store. Guys, thank you both very much for being a part of the neighborhood and sharing your story with us. Be sure to check out other stories at centraliowarealtor.com or right here on this Facebook page.